This painting actually moves pretty quickly, so this would be very beginner friendly. I'm going to go ahead and mark my dark lines here, just so I don't lose where the placement is. I hope you're having a fabulous day so far. Mine has been a little bit rocky, but that's okay. That's what happens when we're learning something different. To give ourselves a little bit of grace. So right now it looks like I'm being kind of sloppy, but I am just trying to get these lines marked in as quickly as I can here, so we aren't wasting time trying to figure out what's what. So I'm going to fill in some dark spaces here, and then it'll be easier for you to view what I am doing. Thank you for joining me if you tried earlier. I thought I was live, but I was not, so there's that lesson to learn through again. And let's paint the dark areas where the eyes will be. And right in here, baby's head is right here, and then her ear is on the end here. Okay, so I'm using a simple color palette today. I have the white and black for our main colors, and I'm just going to mix on the canvas as we go. And then we'll have a bit of color pop at the end. It's a little chilly here where I live. We even had a tiny bit of snow. Mostly cold. March is kind of like that. It doesn't know if it's going to be snowy or warm here. So I'm going to turn the canvas so I can get this lower corner done. I'm using an 11 by 14 wrapped canvas, and you could paint the sides if you'd like. These are really nice for if you're a beginning artist, or just do it for relaxing. That's mostly what I like to do. Find a fun picture and have a relaxing afternoon or evening, however it works out. I always find elephants fascinating, how they care for their community that they live with. I think that's why so many people love elephants. I'm going to be careful not to lose that line, although I can paint it in again if I do lose it. Some people have said they didn't think they could paint because they couldn't even barely draw stick figures. But really, painting is about shapes and layers. If you can make a shape, then you'll be fine. We're just getting in our first layer of paint here. I remember when I was young, that when the circus would come to our area, they would bring the animals in from the train. And from the train, they would have the elephants walk about maybe 15 miles. It wasn't super far. Have them walk to the event place where they had their circus. So that was fun. In grade school, we'd get to have a tiny little field trip to the train station and watch the elephant parade. This is a fun painting for a girls' night out with your co-workers, family fun, a mommy and me. This would be a fun project for a mommy and me. Special time. So I'm making baby look a little slightly darker than the mama, just to be able to identify easily who's who. Carefully keep the shape of the eye there. If you would be interested in getting a party together, we could have it's by appointment, and I have space here for up to 12 painters. So if you wanted to get a group together, we could get that scheduled. It's by appointment only. So that is how that's done. If you are a business owner of a restaurant, or even a group of ladies at your church, if you'd like to get together and paint, I can come to you. We can do that. So I'm going to go careful around the eye here. Okay, so you have her cheekbone, her trunk, her ear, and then this is just extra, not really identified space. This could be part of her body or just background, so I'm just gonna give this a light, non-descriptive space here. So just gonna make that a little bit lighter, and in a little bit we'll add a little layer of texture type brushing right there. Okay, so next I'm going to let this set for just a moment. I'm going to come in here and redefine the lines. There's her part of her ear. This is her cheek. the trunk. Their trunks here have an embrace here. This is their little hug. I'm going to paint this space in here. Just straight black is my plan. Okay, and now outline this side of the face here. Okay, keeping it simple. So now I'm going to come in and just add some white on my brush and just give her another layer just to give her a little more definition. I'm going to go around the shape of her eye with my brush strokes. This could be done with a palette knife too, this part. That would be could be a lot of fun. And I'm just lightly laying on the paint. Now, since the trunk has a tubular type shape, I'm going to do the paint strokes in the same direction as the trunk cylinder. I guess that would be the right word. But you guys know what I mean. Now back in here, we're not really going to define this space, but I'm just going to put a little something there so that area of the ear stands out more. Okay, now let's come back and work on the little one's trunk. Changing brushes. I'm going to give the elephant's trunks have the little wrinkles on it, so I'm going to give that a little bit of definition. A lot of this is pretty subtle. And you might have to let an area dry and then go over another time. The little wrinkles around the eye. Redefine her eyes. And I give her a little bit of eyelashes. That's fun. Really play up on the eyelashes. I picked up some white on my brush. I'm gonna give this some layer of some more definition. And I'm going to keep my brush dirty. Start to add some light to the trunk here. On the forehead, give it a tiny bit of a highlight. Because of the position, it's a side view of the little one's head here, so we're only seeing one eye for each of them, which makes it a little easier if you're just beginning with your art. Okay, so now we're going to come up and give the eyeballs a little more shape. I'm going to fill this in with in the little, the actual eyeball circle area with black. Come up here and do the same. Now I'm going to come in with the white. Add a little reflective spot here. And let's add one over here as well. Right in here. It's a little tricky because the black is still wet right there. Okay, we're making some progress. We're going to put a pop of color here with a pretty blossom, a pretty flower. Rinse out my brush here. I'm gonna put a green stem in there first. And I want it to appear like if the baby's holding this in his mouth, holding it up to his mom. With his trunk. Okay, let that kind of set for a moment, and we'll come back up here. Grab another brush for the sake of time. Now a lot of times I like to use white underneath if I'm going over a dark color. So I'm just going to take a little bit of white and make a simple petal shapes. And you could do any kind of flower you feel like doing. Totally up to you. For the sake of demonstrating this, I'm just going to keep it really simple. Now I'm going to come over here and get some. This is a primary red. So it's kind of a rosy red. Normally I would dry the white first, but for the sake of this live demonstration, I'm going to leave it a little wet. A little crazy looking flower here. Crazy in a good way. Okay, now we are almost done with this. Now green is kind of I don't know if I'd say transparent, but somewhat transparent. So it seems like it takes more than one layer of paint on the green. I'm just going to go over the green one more time. And with the red, you can do that also. Go over the pan. Each time making it a little brighter or darker. If you're using yellow or orange, you definitely need the white underneath. Now the final step of this is something dark in the center. I think with these colors, something dark in the center would look better than this white. I'm going to use the black since we're keeping it kind of simple. Now you could do a little black line through the green here. It just depends on what type of look. Have it. That is a simple way to paint an outfit and her baby. If you enjoyed this, then leave me a comment. Thank you so much.